Yeah, it's nice to see you, all of you, here in this session of Python. And I hope you're done your basic Python already. And now, just some topics we'll try to discuss. Let me give you a quick introduction about myself. I'm Dr. Shantanu Pathak. I've just done my PhD last year, completed. I have 15 plus years of experience in industry, IT industry, and 8 plus years of experience as a machine learning consultant or trainer, developer, kind of thing. I have developed you know yeah, in the industry I have been developing various applications in various languages like C, C++, COBOL, Java, um, C sharp. I think it was very rare. Only once I had developed one project. That's all. But yeah, lot of it with the Python, R programming, and on various platforms. Majorly, it was Linux. Even Linux script, I had developed a lot of things. So yeah. Also, I have worked on various domains. Like think about domains like IT companies, core software development, or wireless sensor networks, or uh, you know, uh, even in finance background, even in mechanical companies, even with electrical companies, even with civil engineering departments, and even with civil engineering companies. Okay, so yeah, so it's a very nice thing to see all of you interested in Python and trying to learn Python, because this is one of the programming languages which is coming up really well nowadays. And I believe that you should learn Python not only as a programming language, but you should learn Python like, okay, I'm learning a tool, and tomorrow I may have to upgrade myself into a new tool or new programming language, but this is going to help you. So this can be like you know it can be a part of journey, because see, in industry it's not that, like when we were getting pass out, I just remembered 12th June 2006 why was my first you know first joining date, in Amdocs, Pune. So that time it was Java. Everybody was talking about Java, and you know there was such a boom. So C, C++, COBOL, and all those things were already there. But then Java was in boom, and C sharp was coming up. .NET and C sharp was coming up. So things are going to change, and they're going to go up and down, and you have to keep on upgrading like you're upgrading right now. जैसे तुम लोग अभी just upgrade कर रहे हो. So similarly, you may have to upgrade even later stages. So the purpose of you learning this Python or whatever you have discussed till now, you should think that, okay, now I have got a tool which I can use, and then by learning this, I can develop further. Okay, any other tool also I should be able to comfortably use. So first time when I joined Amdocs, I was under impression that, okay, I know a lot of programming. Okay, C, C++, Java, I was knowing COBOL. So when I went there, I saw one of my colleague. He was also a programmer. He was just a programmer like me. And what he started doing is he started developing or writing programs or writing codes inside Excel sheets. So he was like programming in Excel sheets. So I was surprised. First time I saw anybody doing something kind of programming in Excel sheets. So I was a bit taken aback that, oh, I don't know something. So guys, there are a lot of things which you still need to go ahead. A lot more things you need to go ahead in life. The point is that this just take it as a beginning in your career, or wherever you want to apply this Python. This is just a beginning, a stepping stone. It's going to be a lot more journey ahead. So yes, any quick questions anybody wants to ask about what are the practical applications of Python in industry, any particular domain? Because I'm seeing some Dr. Manish, or I'm seeing some people, I believe that they have some experience, or there are some industry guys. And yeah, so you have some queries about how we apply Python in industry. And then I would like to go ahead with the topics about lambda functions and all those things. Before we do that, is there any quick question? Yes.
Yeah, if I may. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're clear.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Thanks for sharing a brief idea about it. My name is Sudhakar. Even I'm working with one of the organization from last 12.5 years experience. I just want to know the idea behind joining this training was to understand, like, I am into IT risk and audit function. So I just wanted to make sure, like, whenever we talk about automating some of the control testing requirements, right? We were planning to use Python. So when I look at when I browse the net web, right, I try to find out some, like, like we have NumPy, we have Pandas libraries, right? So
Yeah.
is there a specific audit library which can give me a kickstart? The things which I have learned, right? I want to go ahead and implement it. As of now, I can do file handling, like,
Yeah.
how we can extract data into CSV from any application, and maybe
Yeah.
then compare the source and destination files. So while doing it, is there any particular library or group that I can join and learn more about it?
Have you tried PyTest?
I'm not quite new, right? I just completed the training last week, so just wanted to know more about it.
Yeah, okay. So PyTest is a library which would help you to do testing. Okay, I would just like to show you the documentation of it. So this is PyTest. Okay, so basically it's a simplest form for applying tests on any Python program. Okay, they're very user friendly and very easy to define and very easy to run things. Okay, and there is a lot of automation also. A lot of my friends who are into automation, they are using PyTest as a tool. And obviously there are many other tools, but then PyTest is one of the tools, especially with Python. You would like to go and run Python things with this, test Python things with this. This can be a very simple and very effective kind of tool for testing, or you can say quality assurance. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure, sir. I'll go ahead and give it a try. Let
Yeah,
me check,
yeah.
like, what all I
I,
can find out.
I'm just putting. You want like, how many of you are interested in quality analysis? You want a quick demo of it? I will just check if I have some demo. I remember way back I had some demo about PyTest. Okay. How many of you are interested? Type I in the chat box about PyTest. Then I would really put some efforts to do it. Otherwise, okay. Okay, Ashwini, Sudhakar. Okay, two of you. Okay, no issues. Okay, Okay. Anybody else? Any other particular question? Yeah. Any other? Okay, 3 of you. So I think that's a good number. We would surely spend few minutes on it, and I got the like whatever things I'm supposed to. I will share all of that, and I'll go through it also. So that's fine. Okay. Yeah. One thing is about PyTest. Any other particular point anybody has? Yeah. And also, guys, can you give me your brief? Your brief quickly, like uh, your name will come in chat box. You just have to give me what is your background, what is your degree, and second thing is are you experienced, or what is your domain of expertise? Okay, so that I will just have a brief idea about all of you. Yeah. Yes, your degree and your background. Yeah. Yes, Sudhakar ji. Go ahead.
Okay, I thought I need to type, so I was typing it.
No, it's okay. You can type also, but then you are unmute, so you can just speak.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sudhakar Rao. I have 12 and a half years experience in IT. I have started my career with networking, worked in various domains, mainframe development, later moved on to project management, operations. Then I've worked with one of the big four companies as an IT auditor, external auditor. Currently working with one of the banks in Pune from last 5 years. I'm a senior manager right now. And the reason why I joined Python course is that, the gap that I had, like, during all these years when I was coding in mainframe and then doing all the functional related activities, IT
Yeah.
audit and risk, I wanted one language that I can carry with me, maybe do bit of programming. And when I searched the internet, I found that Python can be used everywhere. Let it be web, let it be like with the spreadsheets or data sets, and everywhere it is used with AI, ML, and data science. So that caught my attention. And while the course was intended after office hours, so thought of utilizing this opportunity.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
It's nice. Yes. Others, I think they have sent it to you. Okay, Dr. Manish. Manish ji is saying, hi everyone. Well, I'm into academics and want to have awareness of this particular Python. Okay, Manish ji. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, hi. How many years of experience you have, Manish ji?
Exactly. I did my BE, okay, in computer science, or I am into this since 26 years हो गए मेरे को इसके.
Oh my God.
But the thing is
Nice.
that just to update myself, I was interested in having the knowledge of this Python.
That's really nice that even after being such a senior guy, you have that zeal to update. Okay.
क्योंकि अपन इसी फील्ड से बिलोंग करते हैं ना.
हाँ, और अपडेट करना ही पड़ेगा. So
that's what. तो वो इंटरेस्ट था मेरा.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thanks a lot.
particular query you have regarding that kind of thing you want to ask or something? Yeah, you are okay, means the contents and everything is good, right?
No, I'm fine with that.
It's nice. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Manish. Sanket, mechanical, okay. Design engineer, okay. IT fresh, looking for better opportunity. Okay, Sanket, it's not a problem. Good to see you here, Sanket. Ashwini, I'm working as quality analyst engineer. Okay, it's nice. Yeah, pursuing MC. Okay, that's good. You joined quickly. It's nice to have all of you here. Okay, Shubham, we just want your bit of a background, and Gayatri also. Yeah, Gayatri, you want to speak?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Gayatri, and I have done my engineering in information technology from University of Mumbai. And I have a work experience of around 6+ years with Tech Mahindra.
Oh, acha.
And
when you were there, because I was associated with Tech Mahindra for 1 year.
I
what
was there
happened?
in Tech Mahindra from 2014 until 2020. In Pune, I worked for 1 year, and then I moved to Bangalore.
Oh, okay. I was consultant at Pune branch. Obviously, Pune branch is also very big thing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Nice to have you here.
Yeah,
So,
and right
what's
now
the
I'm
kind of domain you generally have?
yeah, I was into quality testing.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
initially I was into development, then moved to testing. So I was in
mm.
like I have tested some Salesforce CRM applications and some web applications.
Okay.
Then recently I started pursuing master's course, like a dual degree course. It's MBA in data analytics and MS in data analytics, both course. So since I wanted to switch to this data science and data analytics career, so I I'm like exploring more opportunities in this field.
Python.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Data analytics is nice. Yeah. Okay, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes. What about Mithuji? You'd like to share there? Okay, no issues. I think then we will begin. We will begin with this thing. Okay, our standard thing, the lambda functions, and then we will talk about map, reduce, and filter. We will talk about bit of a file handling, and then we will talk about numpy, pandas, and pytest. Okay, that's nice to know. Okay. What is your understanding about lambda functions? What do you know, guys? What is your understanding about it? Yes, please share. You can unmute and speak also. That's fine. Yeah. Do you know anything about lambda functions? Yep. If you're comfortable, just respond in the chat box, yes or no. That if you know anything about lambda functions.
Yeah, lambda is we are aware of it. We have seen a few work on it. Like lambda is known as an anonymous function. Mostly based on my understanding, I think a larger tranche of codes, right? These are combined into one single expression. It helps us reduce the number of lines of codes by combining it in a single line.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so you already use lambda. That's good. That's nice. So, okay. Anybody else would like to give some example of lambda function? Is where you can use lambda? Yes. Okay. So let me quickly brush up already. Sudhakar has given a bit of a introduction on that. So basically it's an anonymous function. Okay, it doesn't have a name. Okay, why so? Because many times you may require function which just you want to use it once, use and throw kind of thing. So you just create it and you forget about it. You don't worry about that function at all. Okay, so that's a lambda function. So the syntax goes like this: lambda, and then you're supposed to give the inputs. You can give more than one inputs. You can give n number of inputs. Okay, that's fine. And then, so let's say x1, x2, x3, x4, these are the inputs. And then you can, return. Now understand, because in Python, a function can return multiple values. You can actually return multiple values, like you can say x1 plus x2 comma x2 plus x3 plus comma x3 plus x4. So you may written something like this. Obviously, a standard definition of lambda says that you should take inputs and do a processing in a single line processing. Okay. So now in a single line, you can do multiple processes. That's possible using comma, but it should not be interdependent. Like you cannot say something like this, that x3 is equal to x1 minus x2, comma x4 equal to x3 plus x2. This is not possible because already means this thing and this thing, they are going to get executed in parallel. Okay, they here x3 updated value of x3 will not be used here. The old value of x3, whatever is passed, okay, whatever is passed here, okay, will be used. So such kind of two-step, you cannot perform two steps inside lambda, but yes, you can return multiple values. That is perfectly all right. You can take multiple inputs, you can return multiple values. That is perfectly fine. Only thing is, it should be single line processing. There should not be any interdependencies between the lines. Okay, clear? Make sense? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Type C in the chat box if you're clear. I would request participants to be more kind of participative, because see, one thing is, I don't know where are you sitting, what is your background, like what's really happening with you. I don't know anything of that. I'm just taking some short session, so I really like. And if you are not understood something, if you want repeat or if you want more explanation, you can use R or M in the chat box. If you want repeat, type R. If you want more explanation, type M. So this can be one quick kind of understanding between us. C for clear and R for repeat, M for more. Okay. So now let me give you some examples of lambda. Like what we can do is we can create a lambda function where I'm taking x1 and x2 and return x1 plus x2, comma x1 minus x2 and x1 multiplied by x2. So this one function can give you addition, subtraction, and multiplication, everything in one go and without any names. So it can be anonymous. Okay. So yeah, obviously, now the point comes, what is the real applicability of lambda functions? I would say first ever, how many of you find it difficult to understand lambda functions? Type D in the chat box if you find it difficult to understand what exactly lambda function is, or you think that, oh, what's this, I don't really understand it. Type D in the chat box. Be very frank, guys. I'm not going to evaluate you. I'm not going to give you any numbers or anything. You can be very frank. That would help me. Okay, great. So guys, I will tell you, lambda can't do anything better than any simple function. Okay, it's just a function. It's just a function. It's just any function. So you can create your own function. You can always say define x, y, z, and whatever you want to do with lambda, you can do that here. Like I did x1 and x2, right? I took x1 and x2. I return here. I say return x1 plus x2, comma x1 minus x2, comma x1 multiply by x2. So whatever my lambda is doing, I'm just going to write a simple function for it. Take the parameters like a normal function and return it like a normal function. It's just fine. Okay, wherever you use lambda, I'm going to show you, anywhere you ask, anywhere you can use lambda, I can replace that same thing with any normal function like xyz. It's just a function. It's many a times it's just a buzzword, a catchy word. Okay, or many a times rather, as per industry standard, lambda function should not be used too much. Okay, it should not be used in your codes because it makes your code difficult to understand. Really, debugging the code is very difficult when you use too many lambda functions. So it's not really an industry standard, but see, it's just a funky word. Okay, it's just a funky word. People, there those things which generally people don't understand, they pose themselves as that, okay, this is the thing. If they generally ask such questions because they have not understood it, or they have difficulty in understanding it. They think that others also it would be very difficult to understand. So that's why generally interviewers you would see asking about lambda functions. So you can be just comfortable. You can just say whatever, it's just a function. Whatever lambda can do can be done by any other function. So you don't have to too much be under pressure of writing some code only using lambda function. It's never. Rather, in industry, whatever I have used or whatever I have seen, people, they do not choose to have lambda function because it's very difficult to interpret what's happening inside. It's always better to write a simple function and do the same thing what you're supposed to do with lambda. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yep.
I think you got a breathe. You got a breather, right?
Actually, sir, yes, the converting lambda function into the simple function it's easy to understand, but when it comes to converting the function into the lambda function, it's
Yeah,
I
okay,
feel it's
let's take some
complicated.
examples. No issues. Let's take some examples. Let's take some. Do you have any quick example about which you want to convert back into a simple function or simple function to lambda? Yeah. Yes. Any example you want me to give? Yeah. Any particular thing, any particular function?
We had seen Fibonacci series. Maybe recurrence would help.
Acha. Okay. Writing a recurrence with lambda functions.
Yeah. So
okay. Okay. One thing is, as per industry standard, one thing is you should not write recurrences. Okay. I hope you know this, right? I think many of you are already working in industry because basically it can directly bridge into your stack. Okay. Your system memory. So it's not recommended to use any recursions. Okay. That's a kind of a thumb rule which generally developers use, that if there is any, because it's very difficult to track a recurrence or say that how many levels it will really go. So yeah, okay, no issues. But then you really means you guys are working with industry. Have you seen any developer using recurrences? As a quality analyst, have you gone through any of such in any language, not just Python? I'm saying any language for that matter. As a manager, maybe, yes, Sudhakarji or someone, anybody else who has seen a kind of a code which is in industry, which is deployment and which uses recurrence.
the problem with the industry is that, sir, we mostly go for bug fixes or enhancements, right? So not everyone is lucky to get an opportunity to see the entire code. So we mostly work on enhancements. And
but still in enhancements also, have you seen anybody using recurrences?
Never came across such incident. It's just we took an example while getting this training, right? So
yeah, that's fine. That's just, I think recurrences you should learn and forget. Recurrences deadly, means it's a nightmare for a programmer or even a quality analyst if they write a recurrence code. Okay. Yeah, I can really help you do that, something like that, but then I don't recommend you. Rather, as an industry expert, I would just say that even if somebody asks you in interview to write a recurrence with lambda, you can very, very, very politely say that actually recurrences are not industry standards, and so I have personally not too much into it, or think about go-to statements. Should never, rather sometimes it can be just a trap by interviewer, that do you really know that recurrence is not industry standard? Okay, so this question is a double-sided thing. So you have to be very careful in answering this such kind of thing of recurrences out. I would suggest rather than recurrence any other thing, because that's not industry standard and I don't want to encourage something like that. Anybody writing something like that? Yes. Anything else which you find difficult as a lambda function?
So you can take an example like, where lambda function is actually used, because we have taken only a few examples like, x square or, x into y into z or something. If you can
Acha,
illustrate an example where lambda is
yeah.
actually used.
Okay, good. That's nice. That's a better way to represent it. Okay. So only single operation. Guys, remember lambda function, you can take any number of inputs, but remember the only constraint, the major constraint is only single operation is allowed. Okay, there can be single operation means operation which finishes in one line. Okay, there can be multiple operations done, comma, separator, but so you should know this definition. Okay, so let me give you an example. Lambda x plus 10. Okay, so this is my function. So I'm going to give some value to it, 89. So 89 plus 10 will be written, that's 99. Okay, so that's a simple lambda function. Now let us try to see one very simplest example. I would give example of sorting using lambda. This can be very useful in especially if you're kind of sorting from one kind of list. You're sorting one list using another list or something. Okay, I'll give an example. Okay, you want to sort. Okay, let's say this is words. Okay, words is equal to a whatever, a bb cc. Okay, and now what you want to do is there is values. Am I giving the right example? Just a sec. Me. When we sort this, yeah, do this. That's good. Tell me a few of your names. Okay, is that Manish, Sudhakar? Okay, that's good. What's that? Aliyah. What's that? Okay, so now I would take this as an example that let's say these are the names. I want to sort the names. Okay. Sort names by second. How you would do this? Tell me how you can do this. Write a code right now. You can do it. Come on, I give you 2-3 minutes. You're given this list. I want to sort this list using second character. Okay. So second character of every string. So from Manish, you take A. From Sudhakar, you take U. From Shantanu, you take H. From Aliya, you take L, and sort it. Yeah. Ideal output. What should be the ideal output here? I think Manish should come first. Then I think that would be my name. Then it's Aliya's number. And then it's Sudhakar. Yeah. Yes. Come on, guys. Tell me how you would code this. Anyway, you should be able to do this. Yeah, some for loop or something, right? Anyone? Anyone trying? Can you share your approach? Yeah. Can you tell me what are you trying? Yeah. Dr. Aliya or maybe Dr. Manish or anyone for that matter?
Yeah, we'll be using the index function, like, names of 1, 0, 1, right? The second character. We'll put it in a loop to check whether the first one is like, we can take all the second letter in one of the variable and then check. Maybe this is two-folded, but it will make it easier.
But then how you would remember the mapping of that second letter with the original string? Yeah. So you would have to remember that as well, right?
Yeah, then we can directly check, like, whoever's value comes first, that will be like, will print the same one. For example, if a name of the first index that comes into place, we compare it with the second one. Whoever's value comes first, we'll print that first.
Okay.
I'm just opening up the editor.
Yeah, that's yeah. Done. Okay, guys, check this. So remember here in sort function, there is a key. Okay, there is option key. What is the key you want to use? So this key can be set to anything. Okay, you can set this key to anything. And it can be, I can write a function which will count the number of alphabets here, and you want to arrange all the strings. Okay, arrange all the strings by the number of characters. That's also possible here. So it can be whatever. So this key is going to be that function which is going to give you the kind of, what do you say, how you're going to sort your values. Okay, so I will illustrate it more. Let me give you a few more examples of this. So how this lambda is working here. So if I say key is, just think about this, length of x, and say minus length of x. So what's going to happen? Can you tell me? I am going to sort based on minus value of length of the strings. What's going to happen? Yes. Can somebody tell me what will be the first? Huh?
It will be reverse.
Yeah, the smallest string will come first, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I lost it. Yeah, biggest string will come first, and then reducing in that way. So because it would be minus, so it would be exactly opposite of the length wise sort. Okay, so now this key is going to be a function which is going to exactly extract the value and not the value, but the whatever kind of representation of that element in the array, and that elements, they are going to get sorted using this key. Okay, now this you can use lambda here for controlling your sorts. Okay, so this is one of the very popular applications of lambda functions. Generally people use for sorting very efficiently, especially with the strings or very complicated data structures, like think about list within a list, or think about a list of tuples, list of dictionaries, where there are complicated, like think about JSON file. Those of you maybe who know some kind of web programming or web kind of things, you must be knowing what's a JSON file. Just that is a JavaScript object notation. So basically that is list of dictionaries. Okay, so it's a great kind of structure inside lists. So now think about it. You want to sort all of these dictionaries using some kind of criteria. So now you can, this sort, you can get help from lambda function. Okay, obviously lambda is not the only solution. It's not the silver bullet. You can always write a simple function to do the same thing. So what I would do is exact same code what I have written to sort, I will replace it with a simple function. So I can write a function second_char which takes the string as input s and return s1. Okay, so this is my function which exactly can replace this lambda thing without any complaints. Okay, so this is my second_char function. Now remember, I'm just passing the name of the function. Okay, it's the function. Key is the function. Okay, that's going to, every value in this list is going to be sent to this, and then it is going to return a particular extract something from it and then return it. Okay, so now it should give me the same output. Okay, there is no distinction between using lambda, this and this function. Make sense? Yeah. Yes. How many of you clear types see in the chat box? There's only one of the application of lambda. Okay, and here also I have proved that you can use a simple function to do it. Okay, so it's not that lambda is like something like you cannot replace it. Obviously you can always replace it. I've just okay, yeah, it takes some time. Yes, no issues, that's right. It will take some time to digest, because one thing is lambda and another thing is that sort. Okay, any quick question anybody has, any clarification? And if the language is not comfortable, let me know. I can also, मुझे हिंदी आती है, मुझे मराठी पण येतं, and I can also speak in English. So language should not be a barrier in this, when we are explaining things. Okay, so guys, quick thing now, can you write a simple function for this lambda for me? Please help me with this. I have a lambda here which sorts all the strings based on its negative value of the length. So can you write a simple function which can do the same thing? Yes, please. Help me replace this lambda here. Come on, at least try it. Give it a try. I am not expecting more than 1 or 2 minutes for you to respond. If you want the previous code as a reference, I can keep that. Okay, so here is the previous code of previous function as a reference. Can take it.
So the same can be replaced by minus length and sec underscore char. And
Yeah,
the sec
that's
char
right.
under should be the same function that you have written earlier.
You can create a new function, negative length or n length or something. And that should basically take the same s as input and say return minus length of s. That's all. Yeah, that's right. So yes, so this is one of the very popular applications of lambda where you can use lambda. Okay. There are a few other applications. We are going to see that that's map, filter, and reduce. Okay. Yes, guys, you're comfortable. Give me a go ahead. Type C in the chat box if you're clear. If there is any.
Yes, sir. It's fine.
Yep, it's fine. Okay. So let's talk about map function. Actually, this map and reduce functions, they came. Do you know any of you know where they are used heavily? Map reduce functions. Do you know what's HDFS? Do you know what's Hadoop?
Big data, we just know that.
Okay, that's fine. Actually, this map reduce thing came from Hadoop. Okay, so I'm just giving you a kind of a background so that when you try to research on it, go back to Hadoop, how Hadoop works, how the mapping things works, and how reduce thing works. Then it will be very easy for you to understand that map and reduce thing. Basically, what there is a concept map in Hadoop, and there is a reduce concept. So what happens in at a you can think about a computer. Okay, think about a computer which does this map function. It takes huge amounts of data and maps it to a particular function, maps it in a particular way. Okay, maybe it will map it to count the length of every input, or maybe it will map it to count the number of A's in every input, or maybe it will map it to a function which will just count how many alphabets are there. Any kind of map function can be there, which basically whatever input is coming, it gets mapped to a particular function and that output comes out. Okay, so you can think about map function as count, or you can think about map function as a length. So whatever input is going to come, it's just going to give out a length of it. So it's just going to keep on calculating lengths, and give out, okay, give the output. That is map. Okay, what map function does, or what map does, basically whatever input comes applies a function on it. It can be a single function. It is always a single function. Okay, and that single function returns something, some value. It can be any xyz value. It can be true, false. It can be floating point. It can be integer. It can be anything. Okay, it can be anything. So it just whatever input is coming, it maps that input to the function. It gives it to the function. Okay, that's all. And basically you can also think about why this is called as map, because the input is huge. So maybe there are thousands of inputs coming in, and this function, so this thousands of input are given to this function one by one. Okay, one by one they are given to you. So you're going to get 1,000 lengths as output. Okay, length of all these 1,000 inputs would be as output. Okay, that's a map function. So basically whatever input comes, it gives it to a function. Okay, you can think. So here I have written a simple function, okay, which just checks whether the first character of the string is J. Okay, it's a simple function which checks whether the first character of the string is J or not, true or false. That's all. So this is my function. and I'm mapping it to names array. So what's going to happen is every input is going to go through this function, okay, and then return true or false. Okay, so here you can very easily see that John and Jamal, they have J and they are returning true. Okay, others are returning false. Now you can obviously replace this with a simple function and some other function as well. You can also think about this as a length. Okay, so if I say len function, if I map it to len function, then okay, I think it's expecting me exactly one argument, 0 were given. Oh wow, that's nice. What's the problem? List object is not callable. Okay, I think I'm making some stupid mistake here. Yeah. Yeah. You want to say something? Yes, somebody was trying to say something. Did I make stupid mistakes here? It's not working, right?
So name list has a list. It should have some brackets, right? The name one.
No. I think we may have to restart. I think I remember before this, I used a list variable. That's the problem. Yeah. I think I'd use list as a variable name. When I was trying out few things, that was the problem. Yeah, this should work. So it was just a mapping of list. Okay, I had used a variable named list. I think that was a mistake. So this list function got replaced with that variable. That was the problem. Okay, so whatever. So here, what are we doing is basically checking all the strings starting with J. And now here I'm mapping this length function to the list. So every string is going to go through this length and I'm going to get length of every string. Make sense? It's simple, right? Yeah. Guys, you could catch it, or you want more example? Any other example you want? Is this clear? ये कुछ चीज clear हुआ?
Yes, sir. थोड़ा टाइम लगता है समझने के लिए because
No problem, that is perfectly all right. और तुम्हें और explanation चाहिए तो बताओ. See, मतलब it's very nice कि तुम frankly बोल रहे हो कि it takes some time to understand. बहुत अच्छा है. You learn very quickly. Those who understand that they don't know, they come to know things very quickly. But those who think they know, it's difficult for them to understand new things. Sudhakar ji, so it's okay?
Yep.
Okay, I think we have few new participants joined. I hope they are, I think it's Soumya, Geeta ji, I think, and Karthikeyan. So nice to have you here. Okay, if you get doubts, to ask. Okay, you can give any function here. Okay, in this map, you can give any function. You can any particular thing you want.
So just one simple doubt. I don't know whether it will actually, when you say map, right? Whenever we use particular keyword or particular function, for example, in most of the programs, we import some library. Under that library, we use max, min, average, or something, right? So is map like that? Like, whenever we use max, max would be replaced by the actual code which is present in the library.
Yeah,
Can you say that?
not code actually. See, okay, because you're from a bit of a technical, okay, yeah. So so understand, because you have technical background. Let me quickly go into a bit of a more understanding into this. So basically, this you have RAM, and in memory, in this RAM, you would have function. So this particular function length would be present in the memory, or this lambda function would be created in the memory. And now what this map is going to do is basically whatever input you have length. So this is going to call this function in the memory. Okay, it assumes that you have already imported this function. It assumes that you have already loaded this function into the memory. So whenever you import something, basically you load it into the memory. Okay, so it's not like replacing the code. Basically you are the word used here is calling the function. They call the code. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's called as
so something to do with inline functions, sir?
No, actually inline functions, they are from C++, and I think even in Java, there you replace the code. Here, you don't replace the code. It's like this, like all the formalities of a function. If you know what happens as a function, if you know that the CPU register is getting flushed, and there is all that kind of branch taking place. So all of that stuff happens. Okay, there is no escape of that. It's as heavy, computationally heavy as a simple function. So even if you mean say lambda and length, both are same, equally expensive in matter of all those internal computations. Okay, so it's not that just because we are not giving any name or we are using this map is going to use this function, it is not going to replace anything. Okay, it's just going to call that function these many number of times. Okay, it's just making the life of programmer easier by writing small amount of code. That's all. Okay, so it's going to call this length function on this total 5 number of times, or a number of times, whatever names is there. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Yeah, and I can really understand some of you might be having some genuine technical reasons. You may not be able to really participate in the session because of some networks, or there can be some genuine things. I completely understand, and I'm really thankful to all the participants for being here. Okay, so map function is clear. Any particular function you want me to map on any particular kind of inputs you want to, yeah? You want to apply, or have you seen apply function? It's a kind of similar thing. Map and apply are quite similar.
Oh, we have not seen apply, we have seen reduce.
Yeah, seen reduce. Okay, okay. Reduce is actually, it's going to combine everything. Map is just going to put out that function on all the inputs. It's not going to combine things. Reduce does the next thing, that it combines the whole thing and gives you one output. In map, you would have the same number of outputs as the number of inputs. Okay, so that's one thing. Let me quickly write some notes here. Map a function on, okay. How size is same as. Okay, so that's your map function. Yeah. Any quick question? Any quick doubts? Anybody has Ashwini or Alia or say Gayatri or Sanket, Dr. Manish? Anybody? Fine, it's comfortable. The speed is comfortable. It's too fast, too slow. Let me know. Okay, you can privately also send me some messages. So, okay, Manish is fine with this. Okay. That's good. Okay. I know I'm really thinking that no reply is a positive reply. Okay. I hope that's right. Okay, let's go to the next thing. That's filter function. It's going too high. If it becomes too technical, let me know. Okay, type TT in the chat box. You can even privately send me a chat TT. That's too technical. It's becoming too difficult to capture things. Just say TT. Let me give you. Then I would give you a different kind of explanation, or in a different way I would try to explain you. Okay. So you agree, guys? If you're clear, you would say
yes, sir. Yes, it's fine.
it's just you responding. I want at least few more participants to respond. Manishi is also responding. Sanket is also fine. Okay, that's nice. Thank you. So filter is basically what it's going to do is it's going to apply this function, and then wherever you are going to return something like true, it's going to select that. Otherwise, it's going to filter out whatever is false, written by this function. It's going to basically filter out that. So here I'm saying lambda s of 0 equal to j. So whatever names which start with j are going to get selected. All other names will not be selected. Okay, so that's going to happen with this filter function. Okay, so Jamal and John are getting selected. So if you remember the map function, same function had returned true and false for every map. I'm sorry, not same function. Map function had returned true and false for every input. Now filter is just going to select those elements where the function returns true. Okay, we can quickly check it. We can quickly verify what happens if I try to give some kind of length function or something to this. Okay, what happens? So now length function, I'm getting the complete output. Why? Can somebody tell me, if I use length function, why I'm getting all the strings as output? Why I'm not getting length?
No, there is no condition or expression. You just given the length.
Acha. Can you think a bit deeper?
Everything except 0 is true.
Perfect. Who gave that answer? Who was speaking? Ashwini.
It's me, sir.
Okay, that's nice. That's very good. Remember, many of the programming language, and out of that in Python, anything which is not 0 is considered as true. Okay, so if you have a string which is of 0 length, it's not going to return that string. Okay, so basically when I say filter length names, so it's going to filter out every string which is of 0 length. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So all the empty strings are going to get removed. So filter basically does a kind of a conditional check. Whatever function you give, if it is going to return anything which is non-zero, is going to select that as output. And then if anything, for any input, if you're getting 0 as output, it's just going to remove it. Okay, it's not going to keep it. So that's your filter. Okay, so basically why these functions, if you frankly ask me where we use map and filter and reduce functions, today they have lost their charms. They were once upon a time, they were really popular. I would say that maybe a few years back, I would say maybe 10 years back or something. Especially in Python 2.7, they were very popular. But nowadays, Python 3.0, there are many powerful libraries which are already present for you to do these kind of things of filtering and of mapping and all that. So you don't need these functions. Also, if you compare very powerful libraries, like think about pandas or numpy kind of things, these basic functions of map and filter, they are much slower than very advanced libraries like numpy or pandas kind of thing. The kind of functionalities they provide, they're much faster, much quicker than these functions. So these functions have really lost their charm, and that's why if you go on internet and search about it, you'd only get some theory kind of things. Okay, you won't really see its applications. Yes, you agree? Type Y in the chat box. I think you must have already gone through the bit of a searching. Yes, you agree? Type Y in the chat box if you say yes. That these functions are not, you're not seeing a lot of people applying these functions. Yes, it's not much used. Okay, then why am I explaining this to you? Why am I doing this? Because yes, this is a part of Python and you should know it. There's also something known as taboo, kind of misconceptions. So misconception is that these are very difficult functions, and that's why interviewers, they generally prefer to ask you some questions on these functions, and that's why I'm taking it to you. Okay, I hope okay, you got it. Okay, ये clear है? ये किसी को explanation चाहिए हिंदी में? Marathi, I think many of you may not be comfortable with Marathi, so I think if some of you want, कुछ लोगों को अगर हिंदी में explanation चाहिए यही same चीज जो मैंने बताया, तो please type Y in the chat box. You can privately also put it to me. I don't know. When there is no response from the participants, either everybody has understood everything, or maybe
no, sir, we are comfortable with the language. It's just like, we didn't do much of programming on lambda, right? So whatever you are telling, right, it's taking bit time to digest it, and we're just thinking like, okay, how to use it. That's the only thing. Maybe that's the reason people are not speaking.
Should I give more examples? Will that help?
No, it's quite clear now, sir. In fact, we didn't use this many times, right? So when you were teaching it, to go back and recall it, it took some time.
No problem. Rather, I would say that I was assuming that this is not taken. Okay, so you told me something that you had seen lambda, so I was a bit like I took one step ahead. It's fine. And guys, frankly speaking, very frankly, till the time you crack some interviews, it's fine. You should remember these things, and after that, you can very safely put it outside your memory. Okay. So this is just interview gimmick. Okay, just people like to frighten others, freshers, with some kind of bombard with some kind of terminologies. That's all. It's just like that. That's trick to just frighten people who come for interviews. That's all. It's nothing great, nothing different than that. So take a, be very comfortable. Even if you don't understand it at all, it should be just fine. There will be really some companies who understand that even if you don't understand these things, still you can be a very good Python programmer. Okay, I have seen so much of, like, I will tell you guys, 8 years of my Python coding, 8 years of my Python coding, never ever I felt a need that, oh my God, I cannot do anything without applying lambda. Okay, in this situation, I have to write lambda. There is no situation like this, I am very active in data science field. I am very active in machine learning, deep learning. I've seen so much of codes, so many things. I've not seen even a single piece of code where they encourage a lot of lambdas. They say that, no, why you have written a function, you should use lambda. I have never heard any industry person saying like this. It's just interview stuff. Okay, so be comfortable. I know, it's a recording, and maybe you are not expecting me to speak something like this, but see, I'm a very raw guy. Okay, I'm not a guy who can just say something which is not present. Okay, I'm like one of the participants way back, few years back, when he was attending my sessions. He said, you're a critic. If something is good, I would say good. If something is bad, I would say bad. Or something is not important, I'm going to say not important. If something is just for namesake, I'm going to say it's namesake. Something is very important, I'm going to say very important. Okay, so I cannot fake things. Okay, that's my limitation. Okay, so I hope you're very comfortable with this thing. Are you enjoying? Type E in the chat box if you're enjoying this. How many of you felt good, relief that, okay, lambda is not compulsory? Type G in the chat box if you felt good. You can even privately say it to me. It's fine. It's fine. It's not compulsory at all. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. It may take some time for you to really understand what happens. Okay, let me relate this lambda with a simple function. Understand, guys, that it's just like input, taking input, and this input is given here and this processing happens. It's just like a simple function. There is nothing different than lambda here. Okay, nothing different. Okay, or think about this filter function. This is if you go to the documentation of filter or map, they just say that this is a simple way to replace a for loop. So basically, you can always have a for loop. You can always have for loop, say name in names. Okay, and say print. If name of 0 equal to j, okay, it's going to give you the same result as this thing. Okay. One and the same thing, exactly one and the same thing. Okay, and don't think that this is very powerful or something. No, it's not too powerful. And if you want exact results, okay, you can say output equal to a list, and rather than printing it, push it into the output. You can say output dot append name, and then maybe print the output. Okay, exactly want the same. Sorry for that. So it's just a simple way to replace this for loop kind of stuff and use a function, a polished way of writing, avoiding for loop, I would say. So if you're not very comfortable with this thing, that is also perfectly all right. But I would say filter or map function are more important than lambda. Okay, you should at least understand why, because see, writing a for loop may not be really very comfortable for many of you, or many people may not be very comfortable with the syntaxes. What is supposed to be written here? What is supposed to be written here? There are so many things. What is supposed to be condition? There's so many confusions here. Okay, so a simpler thing will be writing a filter. Okay, so that's why many people, rather than writing for loops, they use filter, or they may use map. So map can be same. Again, if you think about map as a in a for loop way, it's just like output dot append length of the name. Okay, so it's going to give you the same results. Now you're comfortable? More clear?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's just a shorthand for replacing your for loops. Okay, so basically, especially like why this concept came up, because see, think about this for loop. Now think about millions of examples. Think about millions of examples. So then this for loop may not be really efficient way of doing it. So this map function, one at a time, it's going to process. So it will be very simpler than a for loop in terms of memory, in terms of way you utilize the things. Okay, so it's going to take one part or one element of the complete input and then process it. So it's going to be much comfortable than for loop, especially in terms of think about distributed, or think about systems where there is a flow of inputs. Okay, where you don't have all the inputs at your place. Okay, it's like inputs are coming in. Okay, can you think about it? Inputs are going to come, like names. When I say names, basically all names here, you can think about this as all names are present. But think about a situation where there is flow of inputs. Names are going to come and they're going to keep on coming. Like I'm speaking, whatever words I'm going to speak, you're going to apply length on every word, and you want to print length of every word being spoken. Okay, think like this. So you don't know what will be the next word, isn't it? You don't know what will be the exact length of the how many number of words are going to come. So now this for loop may not really make sense when you have such a situation of flow of inputs. So basically this map function was kind of designed for such kind of situations where you may not have all the inputs with you, and still you want to just keep a mapping that whenever this input comes, you have to pass that input through this function. That's a map thing. I hope now you're very clear with it. Yes? I hope you understood the applicability of map function now. Why it exists, right? So see here, we are going to have a map function length. So what is going to happen is anytime any word is going to come, anytime any word is going to come, always its length is going to get calculated and will be given as output. That is the process of map. Make sense now? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, clear? Much better than the previous one. Okay. And filter is similar way. You're keeping, so this this thing here, this can be just infinite string or infinite list. It is keep on coming, and you are keeping on applying filter. Every input you're just checking. Okay, should I allow it? Should I not allow it? Yes or no, yes or no. And then you allow only those things. So in for loop, what happens is you're expecting everything to be present, but it's not like that in a filter function. It's not like the original conception of filter function or map function. They did not expect all the inputs to be available with you. Okay, so that's why the map or filter functions came into being. Okay. Then there is reduce function. Obviously, you will have to import func tools for this. reduce function, and you already have seen this. So reduce function, again, now understand this, that again you're expecting a continuous stream of inputs, and always is going to reduce the inputs into one single value. So that's your reduce. So there can be 1 million inputs. So now the advantage is that if you think about sum function, so if you think about a sum function, it expects all the inputs at a time. All the 1 million inputs should be present in the RAM, right? It's going to demand a lot of memory. Okay, it's going to demand a lot of memory, the sum function. But if you write the sum function using reduce, what you're doing? Actually, from this list, only 2 elements, or rather only single element at a time you're taking, isn't it? And you may have very short amount of RAM. Yes, guys?
Yep.
In sum, you would require, let's say, you require to store everything. Think about these as 40 million records. So it would be a huge amount of RAM for some. But then in case of reduce, it's just going to, even if you have 40 million inputs, at a time, it's just going to handle 2 inputs. And that's why the memory requirement of reduce would be much, much less compared to sum. Okay, clear? Clear why reduce came in being and why it's different than, so you can achieve the same thing with sum function. So what basically I'm doing, there is a function which is taking 2 values from the list and adding them up and then totaling, basically totaling from the list. So this same thing can be achieved by sum. Okay, but the major difference is use of the RAM. Clear? Oh, we have spent a lot of time on map reduce, but it's fine. I think it was more important for me to clarify the concept rather than how much time it takes. I don't mind spending more time on something which is important for all of you. Okay, is this thing fine? Reduce you already seen. So is there any quick question about reduce?
Sir, just to summarize, reduce, just like whenever one call is done, it flushes out the memory. That's what we can say.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
Generally, you said when we use some function, right, multiple times, it takes up a lot of RAM, right? So in like rather than,
This is sum all function.
yeah,
This is not sum function. I'm talking about sum function.
right, the
Not
actual
this
sum, yeah.
Is going to give you the same output, right?
Right.
So what is the difference between this reduce and this sum? The difference is this sum is expecting all of L1 in RAM. Reduce is not expecting that.
Okay.
Yeah, it is just processing 2 elements of this L1 at a time. Okay, so as the number of elements grow, means think about 40 million elements. So now your sum function will demand huge amount of RAM, but reduce will not demand that much amount of RAM because still it's just processing 2 elements from the list.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
That's what I was referring to. Okay, clear? Notes, clarifications? You want to download this code, whatever I'm discussing? Oh, sorry. You want to download this thing?
Yeah, if you can place it on the drive, it would be helpful. Like, you know, we can refer it in the future.
Share. Yeah, I'll just share. Just a sec. Share my drive link. So I will keep it open for 1 or 2 days so that you can download. Or maybe one of you can download and upload to your common drive. Just a sec. Is that?
So, or else you can just, you know, save it and put it in the chat window. It would be downloaded on everyone's machine right away.
Yeah, I'm just putting the link. So then from chat. If you just click the link, you will be able to download this. Just check. Guys, just open it and download it to your machines. Pandas and NumPy. It's you really expect me to cover pandas in this session? Because generally it takes a bit of amount of time for me to explain pandas. Yeah, it's downloadable. It's done.
Yes, sir.
In the chat box if you can download, if you are able to download. Okay, I think few of you could download. That's nice. You can share with everybody else. But okay, you have seen pandas, like you have been exposed to pandas, so that
Yes, sir.
okay. So you have any doubts or anything on that?
So not on Panda, but they were like, wanted to know more about a file function, like, how do we work with files? We have just learned it, wanted to know more about it. And one simple question is that once the code is ready, sir, like in the way we work in our office environment, right? How do we like just give it to people who are in business, right? They don't understand the background. So if I have to just give this code to someone who can just run it, can you just let us know how can we do it? In a professional environment, how do we share the executable codes or anything to the business?
Now, Python is an open source language.
Hmm.
You want to give it to your client?
Not client. For example, I'm working in an office environment wherein I work for one function, I complete. For example, I do, for example, checking a completeness and accuracy of two source and destination files. I write a code and I want this code to be used by my team members, like, who are from different functions or different business.
Batch files?
I know
Batch
in
files
mainframe, yeah, but how do we do it using Python? I don't know.
No, you don't have to use. Basically, in a batch file, you call that Python, you give a command of, like whatever you're doing, you save it as a .py file, Python file, and just give a command Python space that file and .py, and put this command inside the a batch file.
Inside
Okay.
the batch file.
Yeah, same way. Okay, let me show you one thing. You're not executed these things from command prompt?
I have not done. I cannot talk about others because others were using Spider and somewhere even writing codes in Notepad.
Oh, okay. Then they might have done. Okay. That looks good. Okay. So I really have to check. So it's a long time since I have used command prompt. Just check. Wow, Python works on my. That's nice. So okay, just a sec.
So we are not able to see your screen.
Yeah. I have stopped it because I'm really going into some kind of stuff. I'm really checking how things can, how can I make it accessible to all of you. That's what I'm checking. Just give me a sec. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to start sharing just a sec. Let me check if I am, yeah. And I was just setting up my environment. Okay, after a long time, somebody asked me to show command prompt things. So yeah, so it's okay. So yeah, so I have switched it to my Anaconda prompt. This is my Anaconda prompt. I use Anaconda, so I'm using Anaconda prompt. You can even do these things with the command prompt. In command prompt, obviously ls command will not work. You will have to use dir. Okay, whatever. If you are on Windows, if you are using Ubuntu, that's best. Okay, so this is the list of files in my directory. So I have a program which I'm going to show you how to run it on command prompt, and then how we can like kind of make an executable. Really, it's not recommended to create executable directly out of Python program, because anyway, your everything whatever you have is going to be what do you say, exposed to the world. Okay, all your code. Okay, all your code will be visible to everyone. So let's just say print hello. I'd say import. What you want me to import? Let's say import numpy. Let's create an array. NumPy. Oh, yeah. NumPy. Right. Okay. So let's assume this is my code. I'm saying hello, then I'm importing NumPy, then I'm creating a NumPy array, and then I'm printing the mean value of that array. Let me print array as well. Okay. So now let's try to execute it here. So let me just quickly verify. Yeah. So yes, Python simple. So can't find, wow, no such file or directory. Did I sample? Oh, I'm sorry. It's always good to use autocomplete, that's why. Yeah. Okay, and it took some time to load NumPy, and then it ran. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 2 is the mean. Okay, so this is a simple way you can run your Python codes. Okay, so basically whatever, so here is, I have shown you a Py program with .py extension. When you're going to use your codes, basically they are IPyNB files, right? When your notebooks, they are IPyNB when you use Jupyter notebooks, right? So these Jupyter notebooks can be downloaded as Python, okay? From Colab or from your Jupyter notebooks, you can download them as .py files. And once you download them as Py files, you can run them like this. Make sense, Sudhakar?
Okay, sir.
Okay, and now you know a batch file, right? So you can put this command inside your batch file. Basically, first command would be to do the cd, basically cd to that particular whatever kind of directory where your program is there. Or if you don't want to do cd, then maybe I'm sorry. So maybe what you would like to do is Python, like to give the complete path. Okay, the colon slash, what's the path? I hope there are no spaces in my path. Yeah, the colon slash Python slash sample. Yeah, okay, so yes, so it works. So if you have the complete path here, it works from anywhere. So you can put this thing in the batch file. So anywhere they double click on the batch file, basically this command is going to get run, and it would, you would see an output. Make sense?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Now let's talk about file handling, guys. I think you must have seen this open close functions, and you must have seen this with thing. Yeah, you've seen it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, already. Now the point is, you must be wondering why you are not too much talked about open, close, and all these things. Guys, I will tell you that frankly speaking, it is not like C, C++, Java. Python, whenever we talk about Python, Python is very high level language. Basically, Python, you must be knowing this, that Python underneath it, it uses C, C++, and Perl languages. And basically Python just has you can just imagine Python as a wrapper over all these languages. So that's why Python is a very high level language. And at such high level, you don't expect to load the files in this way. Nobody is going to really open the files in this way, because Python is not meant for this thing. Python is not built for doing something like this, or doing some raw operations. Never ever think about doing some kind of interface with some sensors or something. That would be very tough with Python. Okay, if you're going to create some programs which are going to do some input output with some sensors, or some, think about printers, handling printers, or handling your whatever, any kind of devices around you, or think about robots or something. See, high level programming like data analytics, machine learning, deep learning, security, what else?
RPA.
Yeah, robotic process or automations. So high level stuff. Okay, Python is very good at high level stuff. Okay, they a level up. Okay, layered approach, but it's not very good with dealing with raw things. So I would not suggest you to really think about file operations like what you could do with C, C++ or Java. Don't ever imagine Python doing something like what you could do with C, C++, Java. Okay, and please don't do such things with Python. It is like using a Mercedes to plow a farm. Okay, so you must have seen bullock carts or bullocks plowing the farm. Okay, yep. So it's good to let the bullocks do their work. Don't take your Mercedes Python into plowing the farms. Okay, so that would be my explanation for file handling. Because see, you practically have libraries for handling PDFs. You can handle docx files, you can handle XML files, you can handle JSON files. Any damn format you tell me. You can handle images, you can handle JPEG, BMP. You can handle any damn thing on earth using libraries in Python. So why the hell you want this open function to work? It's just not required. Rather, it's not means no, there is no need. Yeah, till the time you are a system programmer. Is there anyone who is a system programmer kind of profile here? Anyone here, system programmer or a backend programmer who is dealing with kind of hard disks or something, like backup technology or something? Is there anyone here? Or you're dealing with sockets, or you're doing socket programming or some raw network programming? Anybody? No one, right? So yeah, that's right. Because Python is a application language, guys. Remember, it's a application language. It's not a raw language. So I would very safely say that if you really want to do something very raw with your files, there are good languages. Okay, there are good languages, use them. Don't unnecessarily use Python for that. Okay, you would be frustrated. You would be really frustrated. Okay, so That's my suggestion. But if you still want, yeah, you can.
So the reason why I'm asked for file handling, the reason is in the function that we work, right? Mostly like when we do any testing or we do a risk and assessment, right? There are applications which give different feeds, CSV, Notepad, flat files from a mainframe. The basic idea for my team is to make sure that whatever data comes from different source of application, maybe tier 0, tier 1 or 2, we need to make sure the data in each of this application there is completeness and accuracy. And if
check
when
the
we
library, just Google a library for whatever format you want. There is a Python library for every format. Just use that library. For CSVs, pandas is the best thing. There is nothing better than pandas for CSVs or Excel files. So this is the best thing you have, best library, pandas. But then there are a lot of libraries for, you get what? You get XMLs? You get what kind of formats? CSVs?
sir, initially from mainframe, you get flat files, right? Sequential files that we put it into Notepad or CSVs, right? And
Yeah.
then there are applications from Java or SOAP applications, which gives a different format.
Okay.
Then when we compare,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and when then we have to like, what are the details? I'll tell you. Maybe like loan comparison. If we are taking a loan file and we have to compare to the we have a some expression which needs to be checked. Like there is an input file, there is output file. Okay, application A and application B, and in between this application there is a processing that happens. So pre-processing and post-processing, we just want to compare all the
What
processing.
really happened? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So you want to read raw text files.
Yeah, and then compare it with the output, whatever we used like input file, right? We use the input file as an input data, and then the processing like algorithm or expression to process it. When the output came up, right, it should be in sync for all the data, and it's like in the number is quite huge. So if we can use it for something like that, it would be really helpful for us.
Actually, is there any fixed format for that? Means every line will contain exact same number of characters or exact same number of commas.
See, sir, I'll give you a very simple example, right? There might be 10,000 users, okay, who have taken a personal loan, okay? Based on that personal loan, there is an expression. For example, if personal loan for some users, if the value is about 10 lakh rupees, the interest rate would be say 11%. Maybe 10%.
So what is the output in the file? It's like 11%, 10%, 11, something like
No. The input file will have amount, how much loan you have taken, right? Maybe 5 lakh, 4 lakh, 3 lakh input file. Okay. The processing that happens in the middle, right? Like it calculates interest based on the amount taken by the first by application A. Whatever the user takes as a loan, the interest rate is calculated, and based on that, when we get the output file, we as an auditor, we want to make sure the expression that is applied as per the bank requirements. Like the bank gives you idea, right?
I can understand. So for 1 lakh, you want 11% to be applied.
11. If the value is about 10 lakh rupees, it should be 9%.
Yeah. Okay. So something like this. So whatever. Basically, you want to verify that this thing and this thing is in a particular way you want it, right?
Yeah. We just want to find the areas where this processing has not done properly, and that would be audit finding for us.
Okay. What I want is there any fixed format for this input?
That is the pain, so we get hit from like when we go to different industry, right? Everyone has a different technology. People who are quite rich, banks, they have all good things, mainframe, and some people, they use basic simple applications which do not have any formatting. So that's what it's a struggle.
Yeah, actually that's a struggle of Python developer. Yeah, that's right. So like see, okay, let me tell you some basic things about any Python. Anytime when you read a file in Python, Okay, so there is one like there are a few kind of thumb rules which would take place. That I would like to tell about. Okay, okay, data.csv, whatever. Am I having this file? Okay, having this file. Just a sec. Let me load this data.csv file. So basically, every time you call that read line function, or whenever you say read, basically it's going to read line by line. That's a main or most important kind of thing. Okay, so it's just that thing. You have to keep in mind that this file, whenever you're going to say this, okay, whenever you're going to say this, okay, f.read is going to read line by line. Okay, and then if you say split lines, basically it's going to split it into lines, and then every line will be different. So if there is any like format where you can relate it with a line, or inside line there is fixed number of commas or something like this, then it would be very easy to program this thing out. Okay, otherwise you will have to write some kind of you know I don't think I have my I have a code.
Yeah, so to make life more bit simpler, I believe you have worked on DB2 or mainframe, right? Do we have anything like cursor function here, which pulls up one record at a time and then processes it and then gives the output? Like a file might have many, like any database would have many attributes, but one record or tuple, right?
Yeah. But then you would like to connect with the database, huh? Why you
No,
want to read
we will extract it in a file.
Achha, oh, okay.
Simple, right? Because right, being an auditor, we will never get access to the production or in any area, right? It would be extracted in a file. So even if we mess up, right, nothing happens to the customer.
Yeah. Okay. What is that file? Are you talking about a database dump?
Yeah, a dump which comes in a notepad, which will have account numbers, which will have customer's first name, last name, the loan that they have taken, and based on that loan, how much % interest has been applied to that customer, and then we do a reconciliation or reperformance of that particular expression. That okay, like the formula that is being applied is correct when I do apply it in a manual way.
I think that would be what do you say? You would have to code it. Okay, you'll have to code it. If there is any comma separator value things, or is there any separators or something, then pandas can really help you out.
Yeah, yes, sir. When we extract the data, right, we extract it based on CSV, comma separated files, right? CSV files. Okay. So the data is already in a format that is readable. For example, account number, it is separated,
so if
right?
it is CSV, then directly you can load it in pandas and do the stuff. That's
no, I was just asking, like, do we have an easy way to do it? Like, we get, for example, every time I cannot ask people to go ahead and change the file location, right? I do write some codes and tell them, copy paste your file location here and output 2 file locations. And then we do the coding, whatever we want to check, and then write the thing. So that's the thing I wanted to know. Like, how do we do it in?
But whatever you're saying, that is perfectly possible with pandas, na? If there are 2 CSV files,
okay,
load both of the CSV files are 2 different data frames, and handle it.
Yeah, I just have to like change the attributes name to the comparison and compare the expression also.
Yeah, that is perfectly all right. Let me, okay, because you're asking, let me load some data for you. Let me just show you a sample over here.
Just give me the direction. I'm ready to work on it and keep digging and learning.
I will. Just give me a sec. I'll let you see, because I do a lot of data analytics with Python, so Once you learn data analytics with Python, it would be very easy for you. Yeah, this is the right step you are taken. You have understood Python. Now the next step is going deep into pandas and NumPy. Okay, so whatever. Okay. So I'm just going to use pandas here. So what I'm going to assume is this employee attrition is basically 2 files. Okay, so I'm going to read into 2 data frames and then I will show you how to. Okay. So this is my data frame and this is my data frame 1. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So now the point is, let's say, okay, let me make you understand the columns. So these are the columns I have. There are a lot of columns. So let's say that I want to verify the daily rate and hourly rate. Okay, I want to verify that daily rate from DF, okay, is exactly divided by how many hours generally we work. I think 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah, so daily rate, hourly rate multiply by 8 should be the daily rate. Okay, so let's think about this formula. We want to verify. Okay, verify DF hourly rate into 8 is equal to DF1 daily rate. Is this a good example for you?
Anything, sir. Expression I can build up. I just want to know how do I go about it?
Yeah. Okay. So let's just quickly do this. That DF hourly rate multiply by 8. So this is my say. So this is my input array and output array is I think I will have to import guys, also thank you very much, participants. It's formally the session was hijacked.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I thought
No,
like
that's fine, but it's more interesting than just discussing raw pandas because you already discussed that. So there is no fun in discussing it again and again. So I was also really thinking about practical stuff. Okay, I hope guys are enjoying. But in case you have some commitments, because it's already 8:35, so maybe a few of you might have some commitments or something, so you may carry on. That's perfectly all right. I'm very thankful to all of you and for patient listening. Okay. Oh, I think I forgot to load this. And those of you who want to continue, obviously you can just be here. Thank you very much. Module object is not callable. Arey yaar. Useless guys. Why they import the module? Okay.
So that is consine and that is cosine. N is extra added.
Oh, sorry. Some useless typo errors. Yeah. So yes. So now see here. If these two arrays would have been exactly same, then the cosine distance would be 0, exactly 0. Okay. Yeah. But they are not exactly same. There is cosine is greater than 0. That means there is some change. Okay. Now you know there is some change. Now, if you want exact changes, obviously you can compare element by element and tell which rows are different. That's fine. But then this is like, it's just as an auditor, you know that there is some change. Okay. I would prove it to you. Let me import numpy as well. Let me show it to you another numpy as np, and let's take an array np dot array. So let's say you have 1, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so this is my array, and let's say the exact copy of it is array B. And let me make some changes into it when I create C. It's 100. Okay, now if I use this thing, you see cosine AB, it's perfectly 0 because it's exact same. And if you use C and B, it would be greater than 0. Make sense?
Yeah. So the challenge here for me, like, for a beginner would be like, how do we come to know that, I have to import this file and this cosine I have never seen this right before.
Yeah. The point is that you have to understand what to ask. Okay. Basically today, Google has made everything searchable. Only thing is you have to know what to ask. So you're supposed to ask here, how do I check if two arrays are exactly same? Okay, if you search this query, you would surely very quickly be redirected to this cosine thing. Okay, so only thing is you have to ask in right way. You have to ask in a technical manner. You have to think about various words, various expression by which you can ask. Okay, only thing separating you from the right answer is the right question. Okay, if you ask right question, you're going to get the answer.
Right, being a beginner, sir, it makes it bit difficult, right? Sometimes you
Yeah,
try
I can understand, but then this is a skill. Googling is a skill. It's not going to be. It can't be like, what do you say? There is no tutorial for it. Especially as a Python guy, you will have to adapt to it. You will have to start asking questions. You will have to start asking questions. You will have to start reading the documentations. You will have to start answering questions. You have to start be active at Stack Overflow, and you be active on Quora. Then you understand how people ask questions and what kind of questions are present, where the answers are there. So you have to also understand how to ask questions. That's a very important thing. So yeah, I know that that's as a person who is not exposed to a lot of asking things on Google. Yes, no, this is going to be it needs some practice. But yes, I would recommend you to do this practice, because this is how future holds. Okay, in future nobody can ever see. Python is such a huge thing. This SciPy, this thing what I googled, just this one library itself is containing such immense thing that I can spend 80 hours explaining you this SciPy documentation. It's only, if you download the documentation, it's only 3,000 pages. Okay, if you download Pandas documentation, it's again another 3,000, 4,000 pages. And that's why I'm saying it's only. So no human on earth can remember everything from these things. So only option you have is asking the right question and finding it out. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you will go through struggle, but then there is no option to it. You may have to, I would suggest get good friends. Okay, make good friends. That's a very nice in this programming journey. I think you must be also, because you were also programmer or developer. You must
Yeah,
be.
that time it was mainframe and it was quite boring because, like, every time you have to put a break, in like 1,000, 2,000 codes and do F9, it took days, right? So that's why I moved out to audit. But today I feel like I should learn. So there are people who will help me, but I want to have this, like, curiosity to learn and implement something. I learned something today, like last week we completed a training, but I don't want to leave it in the mid. I just want to make sure that I use it in future.
Yeah, actually, and there's a point. See, what I believe is that the training, you would remember only those things which you apply.
Right.
Those things which you don't apply is going to just forget. So basically, I don't believe in teaching something which you're never going to apply. So that's why I did not too much put efforts on Lambda, but still I put some efforts on map and filter because they are quite important, better than Lambda. But still, you must have experienced that in last 2 hours that I was pretty focused on those things which are application oriented. So be like that. That's a very good approach. Because see, finally, I have seen people, they learn a lot. They have spent 200 hours with me. But then after 6 months, if I ask them something, they just, well, I don't remember anything because they have not applied. They whatever they might have done, but then if they don't apply things, they are going to forget. Okay. So good that you have this approach of application, and I think this is a very simple and very good example. So I'm going to paste this code in the chat for you.
No, so I already copy pasted everything. I made a note of it.
Okay, great. That's pretty good. Okay, so basically what we did is we compared two arrays exactly element by element. Okay, if you want any other way, like if you want to compare unique elements of two arrays, if you want to check if all the unique elements of two arrays are same, you will have to use set and check the difference between the set. Okay, so that's a kind of manipulation. So the point is that you have to ask the question and then you get the answer to it. Now to think about how we can frame this in a programming or in a Python way, right? I believe you have done something like this in your pandas, right? You have multiplied a few numbers with your columns. You're done.
Yeah, and then we output in a different table. We have
different table. That is fine. Anywhere you can put the output. That's it's not an issue. But then the point is you have done something like this, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you can surely implement your formulas like this, put whatever, maybe you might even have to, maybe there is some kind of column which is interest rate. So you will have to just say, okay, interest rate, multiply the interest rate and whatever amount, and then multiply with some kind of thing. And then this thing should be same as this thing, right?
Right. Generally, we'll take three variables, like, amount which is greater than 10 lakh rupees. Obviously, the percentage would be 9%. Anything which is less than, like, 5 to 10 lakhs, the percentage would be 9.5. Anything which is less than 5 lakh, it would be 11%. So we'll create three things and compare it.
Yeah, you can write. So now here comes, okay. So because you want, okay, you have not seen apply, na? Okay, I would give in the quick example of that. Okay, let's say I'm going to write a small function of interest rate, which is going to take value as input, and if value is the hourly rate is what's the hourly rate? I know I'm extending, but then it's important. Okay, minimum is 30, 48. Okay, I think 48, 66, 83 looks good. Value less than 48. Then I'm going to return the interest rate, whatever you have high interest rate, right? 11. Let's assume this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Else if your value is less than what's that, 66, then you have some other interest rate, let's say 10. And let's say if still something else, if it's less than 83, then I'm going to return 9. Okay, helps. Maybe I would like to return a null. Maybe there can be some problems. Maybe there can be some errors for which I would you may program it as null, or you may have some default value, maybe 12 or something.
Maybe if the value is 0, right, then
Whatever.
there is no calculation. It
I
should
would
be
recommend that it should return something. It should
okay.
always return something, because it should flow. So it should not your functions. See, whenever you're creating such kind of functions, because these functions are going to use whatever output you're going to get is going to get multiplied or going to return something. So if you don't return anything, so it's going to get stuck. Your code is going
No. I'm just saying, when like people by default, if they create an
By default,
exception by
0.
adding 0, we just write a print statement that the value has to be above than something better than 0.
Yeah. The print statement should be there, but then there should be some return value.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's always good. You should have some return value, because then I'm sorry, because then that keeps the thing flowing. Okay, so now this is my hourly rate dot apply. So I'm going to apply. It's just like your map function. It's the same thing. So now here is my input array. And you can very quickly verify. Oh, okay. Let's drop this. Okay, let's put it in the data frame, and let's quickly see df of interest rate and interest rate and hourly rate. Let's quickly verify what happened there. So see, if it's 94, obviously we have said if it is not fitting into any of these three conditions, it's going to return 0. So for 94, it's 0. For 61, it's 10. Just 61, yeah, less than 66, and it's greater than 48, so it's 10. Make sense?
Yep.
So you're going to get the interest rates here. So you can use this apply function. So whatever your amount is there, you can use create a function for respective interest rates, and you have the interest rates. Now what you can do is you can basically just have a kind of thing there where you just multiply these two things. Okay, you just take this and multiply. Okay, and you would have the final interest, whatever was applied on every value.
Right.
Make sense? Yeah. And then obviously you can you also have the output with you. You can then use a cosine and check whether both of them are same or different.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Fine.
Helps. So thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your rather interest. It's nice that you are interested in coding. Coding is like it's good. You should always. Sorry, I'm sorry. I did not copy paste the whole thing. apply. So apply is same as map. Okay, whatever map does, it does takes one function and applies on the complete input. So same name is changed. That's all. The functionality is exactly same. Okay. So yeah, cosine you have already taken. So it's fine. Okay. And I say all the best to you for trying out things, and do get in touch if you have. Obviously, Manish sir also can help you, and there are faculties also of ISCST would like to always help you. As being part of ISCST, I would like to extend my email ID to you. So in case you have some quick queries or something, you can get in touch, email me queries. I would be happy to do that. It's just a kind of a policy we have at ISCST where we believe in that what do you say? If you have taken some trainings, we would like to be in touch with you and help you out. And you can get in touch with anyone like Prashant sir or Manish sir or anyone, and we will be really like to help you out with your project, some kind of simple queries like this. That would be nice. Even others, it's not only about Sudhakar. It's just I purposefully showed a few things so that you understand that things are possible, they're feasible. Python is very easy, and it's very, very applicable. Okay, like I said to Sudhakar ji, that it's just the point is that you have to ask the right question and you would get a lot of answers. There are a lot of answers around. You have to ask the right question and get it to you. Okay. So thank you for extending so much, and thank you for being enthusiastic. Bye.
And thank you so much, sir, for all the efforts you have taken. It really helps because, implementation is more important because it helps, generate curiosity, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm very thankful to you. You openly shared your problem. See, that's the point that whenever I go anywhere, basically, whenever corporate trainings or at IUCSD also, or whenever, the point is that if the participants, they come up with the practical problems they want to solve, then for a trainer, it's very easy to figure out what is to be given. Otherwise, it's difficult. Okay, so thank you for your questions. I think
problems.
all the participants enjoyed the questions by Sudhakar, and the answers, I think they helped you. Yes, guys, you agree? Type Y in the chat box. Final time.
And one more thing, guys, apologies in case I hijacked the session. See,
No,
I understand
I just,
being a fresher, I would understand people would be more curious, how to, grab a job. But being at my end, I thought I've learned so many things. I just want to get back to programming. Job is not a concern for me. But for others, if you have question, please go ahead and ask it. I'm sorry in case I hijacked the session.
No. So Manish is saying thanks a lot indeed. Just time taking one. Again, it's obvious too, but I've got to learn. Yeah, actually, what I thought is his questions were very practical, so I thought to take them more. Okay, if you have, I still have some time. It's fine. Anybody has any other question? Because I was constantly asking that, so I thought there's some practical things to discuss. So. Okay, Maniji says that created interest. So thank you, Sudhakarji, for that. Yeah. What about Ashwini, Gayatri, Soumya, Karthikeyanji, Mithu? Yeah, you have something? You want to say something?
Yes, sir. Of course, it was indeed a good session. Hopefully, after seeing this code, I'll try to explore more in this. So,
yeah, and go ahead and try to apply it. Try to apply more. Try to see first time, I still remember my days when I was exposed to Python. I was a faculty member at one college that time. So I started automating my report generation. I had started automating my attendance system. Means I used to only take the roll numbers of those students which are absent, and automatically my Python script would generate, because that time, way back in 2012 or something, our college used to use some system Calibri. I don't know how many of you know it. So that dumb thing did not have any way to just mark the absentees. That dumb thing only had a way that you have to tick all the present things. So it was really a irritating job. So I just automated it. Okay. So yeah, it's really fun with automating things with Python. So make your hand dirty and go back and try something even small things, you know. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody? Any questions? Any comments? How was the session? You would like to rate 1 to 10? Just to keep you, in the session. Okay. Feedback or attendance is there. Manish sir from ISESD. Feedback or attendance is there?
Yes, sir. Attendance is
Marked?
yes, sir.
Yeah, it's marked. Don't worry, guys, about attendance. I hope you are not present here for attendance.
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye. Any last call? Any question? Otherwise, I'd like to leave. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and efforts.
Yeah, Sudhakarji, it's always. It's fine. And thanks ISESD for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Manish.
Thank you, Raj.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Stay safe, guys. Take care. Bye.